Oh, that's how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's just start that one over, huh, Pedro? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media universe. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show. I'll spare you the long introduction today, but it was a good weekend here. It was a good weekend. Why? Because Bitcoin dumped, the altcoins dumped, everything dumped, and you say, Striking, how can that be a good thing? And it was a good thing because someone on this screen, not me, called it and said, look, there's not enough liquidity between where we are up at this price range and where we are down at this price range. So eventually something's going to happen to cause it to shake out. And it did. It did. All we needed was a couple of market makers to get together, some bad news on tariffs, that was the event, which did what? My co-host Pedro Garcia called it. Pedro Damas once again said, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to 91,092. And it did over the weekend. And it busted all the people, all the longs out there, and everyone that had just made tons of gains in the altcoins. But anyway, Pedro, a good call on that. Good call on that. That's your proper technical analysis. And now people are saying they can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear
them. Yay.
What's up, Gen H? What's up, Alpha Wolf? And Space Cat, good to have you guys as well. And our guys over there at Rumble, we got Mikester.
Mikester says, there it is, Monday, technical difficulty Monday.
You, brother.
Anyway, we had a nice intro for you there. I had a nice speech written up that I read to myself, apparently. Well, Pedro could hear me, but I had the master thing on mute. Well, Pedro, I'm cooking up a big pot roast to have today, and I got the crock pot out and all that kind of stuff, and I was cooking up onions and garlic, and we have this super powerful over-the-stove fan that when you turn, it's like it's meant to run on 480 three-phase current or something. And when you turn it on, it's the loudest thing. It's like a B-17 bomber from World War II is taking off in the room. So I was like, this is going to be loud. I better put this on master mute because whatever the reason is. And I didn't take it off. Anyway, that's not the point. Ladies and gentlemen, the markets went crazy. The price craziness over the weekend was something else. And thus, I made this graphic here. Price craziness. But was it really crazy? Is it really crazy? Is 10% retracement in Bitcoin crazy? No, it's not. And people want it to move up and down. The market makers want it to move up and down. The day traders want it to move up and down. The institutions want it to move it down so they can buy lower and get back in. And guess what happened? That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it happened just like you heard it here first on DYOR Live. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's also Meme Coin Monday, but we haven't been talking about memes that much, and the market went crazy. So mostly we're going to talk about the market and what's going on here.
Well, we were going to actually talk. I was going to mention a few things though here, real quick, about memes and stuff because we had been talking.
Absolutely. If you've got the content, then bring it to the house.
Alrighty, so let's talk about Shiba Inu here. Actually, first, let's go over Bitcoin, and we'll go Shiba Inu and a few other things here. But what's real interesting is that we saw the sell-off happen, and I had been talking about this. All right, guys, we're showing weakness here. We're most likely go down. This was on Thursday. I said on Thursday, if we come into there and we're putting a bunch of seller wicks here at these levels here, expect to see it come down. And so I said, I'm really kind of hoping for that 87,000 area, but we'll probably see a capitulation happening around the 92,000 area, 91-ish. So be mindful of this area. So when we start to sell off, and then a rebound of it at these levels, and then again, a continuation down into these lower levels. I was a little wrong in the aspect of us for last week, how we finished off. So we talked about last week how we went down to go up. And so I was actually wrong. We went down on Sunday into Monday. Tuesday, we went sideways. Wednesday and Thursday, and pretty much all of Friday, we were up. and then we sold off at the end of Friday, which was correlated with what happened with the S&P 500 and the whole entire tariff talk. And then from there, we just saw the market just sell off from Saturday into Sunday. And in our Telegram, we got Steve Rodriguez there, and you would think he would be of Latin descent, but he's not. He is he's a Quebecan, Quebec, right? Yeah.
He's from, as they say on Letterkenny, he's from Quebec.
Quebec. Oh, that you talking about a great show, bro. Got it. English. He's English. It's great. Letterkenny, man, one of the greatest shows ever. If you want a good laugh and a good time to just crack up, that's the show you want to watch. All right. So he talked about how in China, as well as in Canada and numerous places, what happens is people keep their money in a stable coin called Bitcoin. And what happens is they then, when they want to pull money out, they pull it out of Bitcoin and go into basically whatever native coin that they have. And what I thought was so interesting was I didn't realize that they really don't trust their currency. So I thought that was really interesting.
Most countries don't. Most countries do not trust their currency.
Which I thought was really interesting because, I mean, as Americans, like, we're like, oh, I'd rather have my money in dollars, in a sense. But then I started thinking, I was like, well, I'd rather have it in crypto if anything came down to it.
Right.
And I was like, that's why other currencies or other people in other countries have it. So basically, this was a currency play here where people basically were selling off because there was going to really be no advantage staying in crypto with a 25% tariff. So it was really interesting to see this actually happen here and then see the market kind of capitulate when some of the stuff started happening with Mexico and agreements that were kind of being made. So I think we'll see a kind of a pullback here. Kind of also depends on what's going to happen with Canada and China. You know what I'm saying? As things happen in that nature, are they going to, we're big country, you better bow down to us type of thing, or are we going to have like real talks and real communication between the countries? And so the reason I bring that up is Bitcoin, we very much could have another sell-off. And if we do, again, I'm looking down into these 88 to that 85 area here, potentially. If we start to have like little disagreements happening, simply because the charts are telling me that we have a 8 and 20 crossover. We're starting to see the 8 push down here as price is coming up. It'd be different if the 8 was starting to flatline as price was coming up, but it's not. So to me, it shows me that most likely price is going to most likely come down if we don't see. And when is the conversation happening between Canada and China? Do you know?
Between Canada and China, I don't know. Well, let me rephrase that.
Excuse me, America.
Oh, it happened this morning. The phone call, the Trudeau-Trump phone call happened this morning, and nothing good happened from it. And Trump also spoke with the president of Mexico, and everything went well, and there's no tariffs now on Mexico. How about that? How about that? And nothing even crazy. Trump said, we want this. Mexican government said, all right, well, we need something in return. Trump said, okay, thank you, done, like that. But the Canadians have taken the tact of, well, let's argue amongst each other for a while. Let's just sit up here and just pander to each other and say how great we are and America needs us and talk amongst each other when they should have been making a plan. Anyway, the plan didn't work out, and Trump demanded even more things from the Canadians this morning, saying we want U.S. banking access to Canada. Right now, the U.S. banks can't bank in Canada without working through a local bank, which, frankly, is our countries are essentially one trade and economic zone. We shouldn't have to work through two banks. It's very difficult to move money across a fake border. It's just dumb. It's dumb.
So, with that said, with this type of instability, I do expect another sell-off down the road, just simply because there are buyers down in these levels here. And so I would expect that the institutions would want to come pick up these buyers or this liquidity down at that 86, 85 area. So we'll see what happens here on a major front. We talked about also on Thursday that because the market was showing weakness here, I expected some type of news to come out that would push the market down to the lower levels. Expect some type of news again, which, by the way, again, another newsworthy event that I kind of talked about. Shocking. Anyways, and so the idea behind this is real simple. Look, they use news to push the market to an area that they needed to get down to. Whether it's large institutions or governments, they do that. And it's pretty evident when I start to see lack of buyers or lack of sellers in a market. And so they need to do the opposite to either scare or say good things about a market. So that's what we saw. And I think it's going to continue, but they need reprieve. So all these sellers came in. Now that it's pushing back up to go down potentially. Now, here's the thing. I talk about this, whereas if it goes down on Sunday and Monday, expect it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to go up, right? And then pretty much a retracement or a taking a profit on Friday, Saturday. So this idea right here that we're watching is where we went down Sunday. Monday, we're coming down as well. So if we end up below the 89 and 100 in between this area here today, expect us to continue down. Now, I bring this up because if I'm looking at the smaller time frames, I'm not really seeing a lot of demand wicks. If we go to the 4-hour, we see them down here, down these lower levels. But this big explosion from this, it's just a giant slip and slide down. So the next real first kind of sell-off area is going to be probably at this level here where we're at right now. And we want to see it cross that the previous hour candle here. So with that said, I want to be mindful of where we're at. We've been going up all day. So you're not going to be quick on this trade here, right? But if we cross below the previous candle right here, which is going to be at the 98.8 or in the 98,800 area, right? If we kind of go down here and continue, expect this thing to come back down to the lower level here of that 96,000, but it's all predicated on what the market's going to do, right? We have the 30-minute 8 that it's been kind of playing off of, but it's really kind of just showing stagnancy and weakness kind of here on the 5 and 15 minutes. So my 30-minute, if it doesn't hold and close above that 99,380 area, then it's going to have a hard time continuing up. So we're kind of waiting and seeing on this 8-hour candle with what we're seeing right here. But it's got to show some strength, some real volume coming in to continue up, because this reprieve is just simply a reprieve. Because if you look at the smaller time frames, you can see here we don't have a lot of demand wicks per se. So I'd expect to see this going down if it's going to go down. So that's in a nutshell. If not, then I would expect to see this thing continue up, and resistance level, the next resistance level is at the area right here. So you want to look at that 101 area,
Okay.
101 to 100 area, and I'll draw in the supply wicks here. Now, remind you, this is all predicated on if we start to trend. If we start to go sideways, if we start to go sideways, then you want to be mindful that we're going sideways. Meaning, if there's a high and a low, and it keeps just doing this in between the high and the low, right? We're going sideways. We're waiting for decision, and that decision is going to come from institutions when they decide to push up or push it down. So, and we're going to wait for a trend to develop on it if we want to go short. Right now, we've got a pretty decent run from that 98,000 area to the 106,000. So we want to see it start to trend. So we're going to be looking for that trend to start along your 5 and 15 minute time frames. And we want to see the 8 and the 20 start to find support on that 8. So, or the price to start finding support on the 5 and 15 minute chart on the 8 period and to see it continue. You can see like right here, it exploded at 9:30, came, found support, and then pushed up, right? And then try to find support again here. So we're kind of consolidating here. I
Yeah,
think
it
they're going to
it
bring
looks
it
like
down.
it's, in the short term it's going to continue a little strength, but I can't pass that. My eyes deceive me.
You're right. It should. That's why I have a short potential either from here as we come down or up at this 1,000 or 100,000, 101,000 area. Um, and so that's kind of like what I'm looking at here.
And then, of
And
course,
this
any
is
little bit of bad news will help drive the
exactly.
market. Pay attention to that news cycle.
Trump's tweets are a real thing. You better pay attention to it. That's is the realness. It's funny. Give me one second. I'm going to show this here real quick. There you go. I thought this was hilarious. Your technical analysis is no match against my tweets. Did you see this right here?
Oh, it's behind our heads. Oh, here, I can turn this off.
No.
No, I can turn this off here. Hold on. Maybe we should be going away here, but
Okay.
there you go.
I can
There we
actually
go.
move this over.
Don't know why I didn't turn off.
Hilarious when I look at this. And it's all good. I can move this further out.
I'll just move
says
over.
your
I'll just step over. Oh, now I disappear.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah.
So true.
Your technical analysis is no match against my tweet. So when this is a true statement in trading, so if Trump comes out and just potentially says something against necessarily your trade, if he says good news and you're going short and you're in the S&P 500, well, you're gonna get stopped out. So be mindful of that. Understand.
Where the hell did Pedro?
Keep your. Oh, can you hear me? Can you get?
No, it's just your picture on screen. I hit the button and you came and then went and then came and then went again. Welcome, Jeff Ledger, to the house. Good day for you to show up. We did have technical difficulties on the open because I didn't hit the microphone button. This says I'm on here, but I'm not. Clearly not.
So let's check out Shiba Inu, because Shiba Inu and a bunch of these guys actually did a good job. So look right here. So we've been talking about this level here, and I did not take a part of it. So I'm pissed that I did not. That 12,000 area, 12,200, excuse me, the 1,236 area here, down to this 1,888 area. I think this area here was one of those ones I was waiting for. And freaking this morning when I looked at it, I was like, freaking A, dude. So it was like a little area to pick up if you were able to. And then when we look at Doge was even funnier because Doge literally hit it to a T, dude. Like I was like, oh, like look at that, came down into our area and then went up. And I was just like, dang, dude, it's showing some. So like when I see these things happening, like this is a liquidity pool, and like a liquidity run, right? They take out all these people's stops to come down to an area to just take that money. So that's exactly what happened. And they did a good job on it. They actually did a really good job. So I give them props for taking people's money. But
They certainly did. Although there's probably people like yourself that had some limit orders down there, and they got engaged and they rocked up a really low buy, and within a few minutes, made some good monies.
Yeah, I can only imagine even the futures traders on the perpetuals, right? Like playing this this push right here, even just the drop and then the buy up. You're talking. Some people made some good money, some good cash from here to down. And then this area right here up, and I mean, how does somebody take advantage of trading with the futures, Tom? I mean, if somebody wanted to know how to go long and short, how would they?
That's a great question. Now let me think about that for a minute. Oh, this QR code right below me, right here. In fact, you could use our sponsor BitFi, a central exchange sponsor. No KYC and 100 free USDT if you deposit your own USDT And obviously they do KYC if you move into the higher amounts of money and stuff. But to establish an account and do some basic trading and converting one coin to another, and even playing the futures, you can just open up an account, press the button here, transfer some money in, and boom, get going. And then you can come talk to Pedro and I about how to go long and how to go short, use leverage, or how to go short without using leverage. Just bet that the price is going down. Which, if you had done like me yesterday, based on the man in the box's advice on top of me here, then you would have made cash monies. I turned a $1,000 account into a $1,500 account in a period of 24 hours, and for me, that's like a lot of money in the futures area because I have a risk level, and that's about what it is. And so I did well, turning it in a 50% gain. If you can get a 50% gain once a year, that's life in the stock market and with your bank. It's an amazing thing because you get 5% at your bank. But if you get it in a weekend with shorting Bitcoin, and you can even replicate it even 1 or 2 more times per year, you're way ahead of the stock market, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here's the thing. I don't even look at it like that. I say if you can make 1 to 2% a day, compounded, you're a millionaire over a year or two. So, and that's not that hard. I know that sounds kind of crazy, 1 or 2% a day, but it's really just mitigating your risk, right? So take 1% of your risk, and if you can, so let's say, for example, your $2,000, or let's say Tom takes his $1,500, and over the next 2 or 3 weeks, accrues it to $2,000.
Take a quick glance at the studio view. I was just telling you to do that so you center yourself up.
I see what you're saying. I'm leaning.
You're doing this again.
Yeah, my bad. I got to get a new bouncy ball that I sit on. Those big round like gym balls. I have one of those, and I'm like just rolling. So it keeps me fluid and keeps my hip flexors from being, as it doesn't matter. So here's the key: is that when it comes to Tom, right, or me, or whoever, doesn't even matter. If you were to make a small amount every single day, singles and doubles, okay, you can actually accumulate a lot of cash real quick. And when you consider how much you really need, and a lot of times people are always looking for those home runs, but in all reality, you really don't need like Tom, like 50% gain. And I love 50% gain. I'm not saying that not to go for it, but in all reality, when I look at the markets,
to be clear, that wasn't one trade. That was a bunch of little setups, and it just added up over a volatile weekend.
Oh, okay. Can you then talk about that? I think that's so important. That's what to me, that's actually more impressive than.
Well, it wasn't that it was easy. I had to spend a lot of time learning, listening to you. But it really was just looking at first of all, the market sentiment was bad. Just the news on the tariffs, people are talking about all doom and gloom and all that. And so all sorts of markets were starting to show negative. And moving averages were starting to move above the price points on the, not just the 1 minute, but also on the 5 minute and 15 minute and things like that. And so it was clear from the short term that prices would be going down. And I've taken advantage of that book map thing showing the bubble liquidity stuff, scooting by the screen and all that. And what that did, like you say, always use other things as just an additional tool in your basket of things. Don't rely on one thing. And so before I'd make a trade, I would look at that. The price would be going down, and then it would show a lot more liquidity under it. And as Pedro always says here, that they're going to push it down and gobble up that liquidity. And boy, they do. It's like clockwork, Pedro. It's like
really
clockwork.
Is.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna go there. It's gonna, because there's a whole bunch of orders there, and it shows whether they're not just buys below the price. It shows that there's some sells there too, because people have stops. And I'm like, they're gonna go down and jam that. It's inevitable. And then and then you see that the liquidity appear above the price really quick, and you close your trade out, and you take your $50 that you made, and you move on to the next one, and you wait for a similar setup to happen. And usually, over the period of a giant dump, that same setup repeated itself every 2 or 3 hours, and sometimes 2 or 3 times in 20 minutes, and you don't get them all because you're a little gun shy on that. And it was one of those things that had I just at my first sale going short and just walked away from it and didn't come back till late last night when I closed up my last trade, I probably would have made 100%. But that's not how you do it. You can't just that's casino gambling, and you're on mute.
And I think what's so interesting is that nobody gets the full move in a market. And I
Right.
think this is super important to understand, right? Like, let me explain this real quick. I have a little thing. It's called the power of T1. Okay. It's getting singles and doubles. That's what you're looking to do. Singles and doubles. Just get on first base, right? If you can be an okay hitter, but get on first base half the time, you're going to be the greatest hitter of all time.
I know.
Like here, like just get on base. Like just get on base. That's all it is, right? We all realize like everybody loves the Michael Jordan or loves the Babe Ruth, right? The great Bambino, right? But the reality is Ricky Henderson, all the Ricky Hendersons out there, look, legit, right? If you can still
Welcome
first,
Crypto Mike to the
get
house.
on
Sup,
first,
dudes?
you were great. Right? If you're like still first, what are you talking? The bunt. Remember he was famous for the bunt and then
Yeah, lead off bunt,
and
flummox the third baseman and the pitcher, drive him nuts.
exactly. So let's look at this here real quick. This is the power of singles and doubles. Okay. It's 20, 30% at a time, 40% at a time. Okay. Now if you make just $20 a day every week, and we're gonna instead of 1 year, we're gonna stretch this out for 2 years. Okay. So when I say month, we're gonna go 2 months. So every day you make $20 a month. Excuse me, $20 a day, which is $100 on a weekly basis. And in a period of 2 months, you've made $800. Okay. You can see $400 plus another 400, right? And so if we were to just simply end on the second month, okay, or the fourth month, or the third month, excuse me, because we're doing this over a period of 2 years, you're then going to now just try to make $40 every day. Okay, just $40 every day, $200 or $200 for the weekly amount, which is over a period of 2 months, is literally $1,600. Okay. And so this idea is you just keep building. And then as you grow your account, you can then add a little bit more leverage to your trade. You don't overdo it. You're just looking to get to the next level because you have more money in your bank account and you built it up over a period of 2 months.
What's up, Fire
4
Chicken,
months,
coming to us on
6
Rumble?
months, you're making $80 a day.
Yep.
And those $80 a day starts to again accumulate. So then you get about 6,000 total in your bank account. And if you just, and this is just, this isn't that hard. By 2 years out, if you keep doing this, okay, in your bank account, you can at least have $1.6 million in your bank account. At least.
That'd be a nice problem to have, Pedro. I would love that.
It's just a small little thing. All you're doing is you're just doing the same thing that we talked about. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what was your win ratio like for your trading?
I didn't calculate the ratio, but I would say at 80%.
Okay, win ratio, which is pretty darn good.
The market was going in one direction. It's it
right.
wasn't an up and down market. It was a down.
All right, so this is what we're looking at. I try to do everything very feasible and doable. So in that same sense, it's real simple to be able to go in there and say, okay, I'm going to make $20. I'm going to risk. Okay, I'm going to risk $50 to $100 here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to try to make $20. Okay, which is 20%.
Yep.
Which is very on leverage, it's very plausible, very easy, right? You're risking $100 to try to make it. And you don't need this thing to push hard. Your 20% is T1, okay? Then you move your stop up and you move it to break even. And if you lose that, right, it's just you made $20. It's a good day. Walk away, have a good day. But with the style that I teach you guys and how I'm teaching you to go along with the trend, if it's trending, you start to accumulate wins to come your way. And then what happens is your subconscious mind then starts to build strategies based off of this. As Tom can attest, you start to really gauge because your body relies on, just like with AI, it needs to feel good. AI has a dopamine system, even though we're not calling it a dopamine system, it's a reward system, right? By giving it tokens, right? Good job, here's a token, but about how it works, right? In that same sense, we can sit there and we can gauge ourselves to become better traders by just getting small wins. And in those small wins, what happens is your reticular, it's a function in the brain that hyper focuses on, like, oh, that felt really good, let's do more of that.
It's called
And it's
sex.
right. Yeah, obviously, big
Need
booty
to do
girl.
more of that.
Yeah. Well, that's
That's what I said after the first time. I was like, wow, that was fast. Need to do that again.
But on the back end though, kind of focusing back on when you go through and you're looking to take part in something that feels good, meaning trading, and you make money at it, your body figures out way to win more. And so you start to sit there and see patterns, and your brain will start to create ways for you to win more. And it's a pretty cool thing.
Steve Rodriguez says, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the show, Steve. Thanks for your participation in our Telegram room. I really appreciate the insight.
Definitely.
The insight that's provided by someone that has done something for the past 20 years that's different than us. And the things that you've experienced and done, from good things to bad things, always brings another side of the story to whatever we're talking about. Thanks for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, on this Wednesday coming up, we're going to have a special show. In fact, we're going to start trying to do it once a week. And we're going to kind of rejigger our show schedule probably here too. We're going to have a Web3 Wednesday, and I need a better name for it. It's going to be around AI. And we're going to divide the show into two parts. The first part about it will be AI. And we're going to have our good friend, our now good friend, Quebecer, Steve Rodriguez. I said that with a Spanish accent.
That was good as they. Like, he's not Spanish though. You want to do French
on the show as our AI co-host with Pedro and I, and we're gonna have a discussion all about that. We're gonna start putting the socials out about that later today. So if you see him out there, please forward, share, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the second part of the show will be talking about crypto and things like that. But thanks a lot, Steve. Steve says, you can monetize dopamine in an AI. It doesn't work like us, though. You don't have to give it tokens. You just have to increase the win score and decrease it when it loses or is neutral.
This is what I'm saying. That's exactly, like, you're right, not tokens. It's not necessarily tokens, but like you said, the win. So thank you. But the key here is when you're trading, you kind of want to build that within yourself. So it's a pretty cool thing. One of the things I think is really interesting is when you start to win on a trade, you almost become fearful that you're going to lose. I understand that. So one of the things that you're able to do is that's why you have a preset setup already. Like, okay, from here to here is where I'm looking to get my money. And then after that, then if it continues, great, right? But that's why I always say take off 70% at T1, which is typically a 1-to-1, 1-to-2 ratio, right? Of trying to make that money. And in doing that, you can then help yourself make a lot more cash in case if you start to have a lot of sell-offs. But I like the 70% at a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio.
Well, here I am in my trade right now, Pedro. I've got I'm up $48 now in the long that I was in, and I'm thinking about closing it out now because $50 win for me is always a good
That's
one.
10%, bro. I'd close that shit.
Closing.
Like that's 50% on what you're risking, right?
Let's see if I got a. Yeah, I got a good fill on that. I got 51 bucks out of that, so we'll take it. So my trading account is out now over $1,617 after starting with $1,000 only a few days ago.
So just slowly just build up. Like I said, T1 is a real thing. It's one of the most powerful things you could ever use. I use this every day. Some days I'll sit there and be like, I should have been able to, and then I go back to this and go, no, I'm happy to make $300. I'm happy to make $80 a day, whatever you need to make. I'm happy to make, 1,200. Oh, that hurt. I'm happy to make $1,200 today, right? Now, I'm always trying to get better, right? Analyze and how to mitigate risk and capitalize on runners. But I have to sit there and go, what am I building for? And how am I building it? Right now, in all reality, this is actually more, this right here is more of a actual statement, like a real statement, right? Like realistic numbers you can go through and you make, in a couple months of
Can you make
time.
that bigger?
Give me 1 second.
Just like control plus it. Control plus. Is anyone here static when I move around, or is it just me?
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah. What's that movie? So this is okay. So this is kind of like more realistic numbers. If once you start to have a raw account, right? Like if you go in $5,000 or $10,000 account, right? You would try to make $200 to $300 a day, right? And so if you just simply go through, and even if you're not first making that, right? Like let's say you're only making this, where you're only making $20 or $50 or whatever it be, right? But what you're doing is you're looking to double it once once your total account doubles, right? And so once this doubles, then all of a sudden you can then allocate more money because you have more money to allocate. It's all ratio, right? So for example, Tom, let's say Tom at the end of this week has uh, $5,000 hypothetically. Let's say he just does a 5x, he got on some good trades, and then kicks ass, right? Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would then encourage Tom to maybe double what he normally risks. So how much do you normally risk on a trade, Tom?
Between 100 and 200 bucks.
Okay. For the small account that you have, that's way too much. But um, but either way, I understand. So you go through, you risk 100 to 200 bucks. Let's say we give him a flat rate of 100 bucks. He risks 100 bucks and he makes 50 to 100 bucks every single day. In a 2-week period, okay, he's made $250. Okay. You're like, that's it? Right? Like that doesn't seem like a lot. He's only made $50 a day, 250 for the week. That's pennies. Well, that's a great ratio. Okay. On a percentage level, because compound interest is one of the greatest wonders of the world. If he keeps doing that, which I'm pretty positive he's doing it because he's writing down his trades, he's analyzing his trades, he's learning from his trades, so he's only just going to get better. Then in doing that, so instead of risking, let's say $200, now he's risking $400 next month. Okay. Now instead of making $50 to $100 a day, now he's making $100 to $200 a day. Okay. So he does that for a month. Right. Well, that month making 500, that's $2,000 made in your trading account. And that is a big deal. Then, right now we go to the next month. Now he's risking, let's say he does this for 2 months. He risks the same amount for 2 months. Now he's made 25 instead of 2,500 or $2,000, he's made $4,000. So he's taking his account from 1,000 to 2,000 to another 2,000. Okay, now he has 5,000 in 3 months. Now he's able to risk a little bit more. So instead of 100 to 200, now he says 150. So then when he goes into his trades and he starts to keep moving that forward, he then now, instead of making 150, now he's making 200, 300 a day. All of a sudden, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, he's making 1,000 a day.
1,000 a day would make a whole bunch of
no.
college problems go away.
You're doing this right now by making $50 a day.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Welcome Tim Fountain to the house.
Hey, what's up, Timmy? It's the same thing, literally the same thing. You're not changing anything. All you're doing is doing the same thing, but you just allowed your bank account to accumulate so that you can keep growing. As example, let's say that you turn this account into a $40,000 account, $50,000 account, $100,000 account. All of a sudden, you're making $2,000 a day. Like I said, 1 to 2%. Right? You're making 1,000. Your good days, you're making 2,000. Because it's the same as doing $50 to $100. Right now, that's right now you're killing your trades because you're taking profit quick, and we're having big movements in the market. But it's all relative, but you're just doing the same thing over and over and over. Speaking of doing over and over, when is Space Cat, or who was it that went on the cruise?
I don't. DYOR Baby's on the cruise
DYOR
right now.
Baby.
Steve says I personally use 5% of my account on each trade and leverage between 20x and 50x. I do leverage between 10 and 20. Mostly, I like prime numbers, so I'll do 13. In that, and I have to keep it lower on the leverage because, as I've told Pedro a few times, if I don't keep my focus on the trade, then I lose it. So I'm more conservative on it. I would only do a 50x as just like, oh, there's $10 in this random account, and I'm just gonna F it and gamble it. Just because I don't, when you do a 50x or a 100x trade, you have to watch it like this and have your finger on the flash close button, like, let's ready to go.
Why? But why? When you guys are becoming traders, you guys are becoming decent traders. Why? Why?
Why what?
Like, why sit there and go 50x, 100x, 200x? Like, just let compound interest take care of itself. It's that simple.
Sometimes you have losses, though, which decrease the exponential account growth. Leverage can be, it's all start out on our end, but I'm guessing the word is a bitch.
Okay. So, yes, we all have losses, but if you can make $20 a day, every day, for 2 months, then in the next 2 months, make $40 a day, every day. Okay? Go in there, make your money, get out of the market. Once you make your money, get out of the market. You're done for the day. Okay? You make your $80 a day. Boom. Now, when I say sometimes you can make your $80, right? And then, but it's moved up and you're like, oh, it's continuing up because it's above the moving averages. Well, you move your stop up. So you locked in $80 on profit. You bring up your stop and it may just keep running and running and running and running. And now you made 130, 140 that day, or maybe even 400, 300, right? Let's say it's a big day and you kill it. Okay, great. But you made your $40. That extra money is great, whatever. You made your $40. You made your nut for the day.
Give me that nut. Give me that nut. Wasn't that an Eazy-E song?
Yeah, that was. Give me that. Yeah.
Remember the first time hearing that, I was like, what
Right.
that brother be saying? What? Can they say that on the radio?
So, like I said, and here's the thing, that right there allows you to be able just to continue moving forward. It's all about having the nuts to play with so that you can put them on the chopping block. If you've got no nuts to play with, then you can't put them on the chopping block.
Very good point there. Very
right.
good point.
All right, so let's check out also a couple more other here real quick.
But quickly, let's welcome everyone on Rumble. Thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Please share with your other Rumblers. We really enjoy the Rumble platform. It's been good to us. And Pedro, I spent, you know what I did this weekend a lot? Is
What's
chasing people off the Rumble platform that were putting scam videos up in the crypto category. You know, we try to always be the top show in the crypto category when we're live. And then there's all of a sudden all these shows there with like 500 viewers at a time and 6,000 views, 10,000 views. I'm like, what the hell? You know, where did all these viewers come from? And then I'd click on them and it was a scam. It was Charles Hodgkin saying, please send 5 Bitcoin to this address and you'll get 1 full Bitcoin in return. And, you know, the scam to do that.
Yeah.
And so I would report it. And Rumble took down, they used to have a report button. They took that down for some reason. You have to email them now. And they weren't very responsive. So I tweeted to Chris and Rumble. And I said, look, you got these scams on it. It's making the crypto things look bad. I realize it gets views and pumps your numbers. But people are getting scammed and losing money. Within 10 seconds, it was down. And then the guy kept trying to launch new ones, and I would just email them back and say, hey, you took that first one down. It's the same guy, just a new channel, started 10 minutes ago. I probably had 12 to 15 streams taken down. And his last one was a fake Elon Musk. And they're really good because they AI the voice, and they change it. You know, it's really good. But, so you Rumblers out there, if you see anything funny going on, email support@rumble.com and drop the link and say, this video is a scam. You can also say, this video is awesome. Promote those guys.
That would be great. That'd be great. This guy with the thumbs would like it, and that guy with the mic would like it.
Steve says, I also use flash loans when I can spot big transactions that didn't adjust their slippage correctly, and I can just sandwich it with my MEV bot. I would do as many of those things as you can before those are made illegal. I'm willing to bet that the new Secretary of Commerce and the new head of the SEC are going to say that's all front running in non-public information and all that type of stuff. You watch. I've been calling this for 2 years now, that they're going to make MEV bot stuff. They're going to define the retail sale as when the investor clicks the button, like when you press the button on Uniswap, and any shenanigans that go on between that and the actual trade will be classified as, theft. Because you can't do that in the stock market. When the investor puts their money in, people can't sandwich their price like that. Don't know. You don't have that information. You kind of have to guess looking at what the exchanges are doing. Anyway.
Well, I think it's what's interesting is...
Yeah, not yet, Steve.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. Like, because the blockchain is open transaction, you can see everything. It's going to be really hard to actually, like, stop people from doing that, right? Especially if you go in with a VPN. So I unless if they take the blockchain away, how are they going to really say this is illegal? Just wonder.
Just old detective work. They'll just track down the people and seize their wallet. As soon as they transfer the stuff into USDT or USDC, they'll be like, freeze that wallet. Nice. Like 30% of the wallets will be frozen. Only be about 10 wallets left that aren't frozen.
Dude, that's what's up.
Anyway, what you got up there, Pedro?
So this is going to be Bonk. Bonk here is showing some weakness. This is an understatement, but it's bounced off our areas here. We came down into this area right here, which was the 4033 area. Through the 4031, we saw it push back up and then come back down and play off of our 2693 area down to that 2460 area, came down, bounced, came back down, pushed back up, and now we're watching just continuing down into our lower area here, which is going to be the 1329 area to the and this is going to be 1331 to the
You got it behind us.
1212. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go, guys. And so you can see here that these levels here are definitely kind of the ones that we bounced off, came back up, bounced off, came back up, and now we're coming down to this level here. So if you're liking Bonk, dude, Bonk right here is looking fresh at these levels here. And I like this area here. It's a nice little area here. If Jake Gagan is watching, hey, this is the area that I was talking about on your show here that you should go and wait for Bonk.
Bonk at $1.5 billion market cap.
Yeah.
And looks like I screwed up the formatting, but $586 million traded.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real. This thing has got a lot. Let's check out Brett here. Brett literally like tapped our zone, dude. Like you were talking like bink bounce. You can see Brett was doing the same thing, kind of what Bonk was doing, coming down into our areas, came back down, bounced off of it, came back down, bounced off it. But we had the lower highs and lower lows. So lower high, lower low came through. Saw a little bit of a bounce right here for that day. So this is the daily chart. And then, but the real thing is this area right here, dude. Like this area, it's just, it went from 4 cents all the way up to 5.9. So that's like, that's like, what is that? That's 25%. That's a 25% jump. Like, so I just thought that was like huge. I was like, dang. I was like, this is another area here that for Brett, and Brett is like a full-on like accepted coin in the institutional level now. I mean,
yeah, I mean it's a Coinbase jewel.
Yeah, exactly. So, like if you're looking for Brett at these levels, I think this is a potential good area. If not, that little further down at that 02. 02029 to the 022 area, this level here is a potential. This would be at the lows here. So I don't know what the full market cap is right here, right now. But what's the full market cap right now?
$590 million, with $140 million of it traded in the past 24 hours.
Okay, jeez, dude. So you're telling me, dude, this thing got up to almost 5 mil?
All I know is the market cap right now is about 600 million.
Yeah, it'd be 500, and we're sitting at.
So Brett was in the B's. It was in the B's for a while, yeah.
Yeah, because it got up to 23 cents. Holy moly! Like that is real. It's crazy, dude.
King Ka-ching is in the house. Welcome, Derek, to the show. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending your time with us this afternoon.
How you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I feel like I'm dead here. All right. So let's check this out here. Now, I just thought that was real interesting to see what actually happened with
Alpha. Well, feel free to skip the commercials if there's more than 30 seconds. All you need is to watch 30 seconds of them, and then it counts.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. All right. Next one. All right. So the other one that I thought was really interesting was Bone. Bone. So Bone here dropped. We're talking like here's the low here. Look at them drop this thing, bro. Drop it in like it's hot. This is the low. This is a new low, all-time low here on Bone. And I'm watching this going like, dude, this thing was literally up to 339. It's now at 19 cents, bro. Like, that is, I can't, that's nice. That's nice cash. So I don't know who picked it up there, but that was a nice little buy at these low levels. If you're looking to capture it a little bit more, that would be smart. But you kind of want to wait, because if this thing doesn't capture the institutional sentiment, right, then I would expect to see this thing continue even further down. So it's not like it's on. Is Bone on Coinbase by chance?
I don't know if it's on Coinbase.
Hmm. All right. Well, it's got to get above that 8 for me to really want to be interested in it, because I'm kind of chilling here.
I do know that it's Bone is down to a $75 million market cap. So it has come down in cap a lot.
A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. But I'm looking at this here. Where is...
You know, Pedro, 1 second. Alpha Wolf, I've been trying different things with YouTube. Pedro and I, we tried just doing it manually and taking commercial breaks, which we actually do need to do because then we can go pee and things like that in our long shows. But I went back to having it auto inserted, and I'll turn down the frequency. I think I have it on normal, and I'll put it on conservative instead. We don't. It's not like, even if we put it on maximize revenue, we don't have enough viewers to really get more than a few cents. So, thanks for that feedback, though. It helps.
What was the feedback?
He's just talking about getting too many commercials on the YouTube feed.
Yeah. Let's see right here. All right. So there's a couple places here with bonk that you've got supply area now.
What do you got up there?
This is bonk still.
Bone or bonk?
Sorry, bone. I don't know why I said bonk. These are just little areas here that you could potentially capture if you're looking to trade the futures on these. Like this is the area that I'd be looking for.
Steve, are you talking about the X Alpha bot? Go ahead, Pedro.
Oh, so this area right here is should be a near-term daily zone here you could play. So let's play this right here. So that 41 cent to 39 cent area is a area that you could potentially take a short. As we start to push back up here, you're going to see higher lows kick in, where then you'll see a higher high. So at this level here, it's a potential higher high area. Once we cross this area here, this will be considered almost like their, I would say, potential. So this is the swing high. Well, this is the swing high, but you can see it went down, came down here. And so this area, as it comes back up in here, is either here, or we'll see whether it starts to come back down and then creates the higher low for bone, and then create a higher high then after that. So be ready for that play for a little bit of a short area you can play off of this. Yeah, that's it for that one. And then cake, dude. I have been playing with cake because I still think it's gonna bring. Like, I just love the name cake.
I haven't played with it since 2021 when it was hot.
Oh yeah, dude. Cakes, dude. Who doesn't like cake, bro? Cakes are good.
Nor have I eaten a cake in probably since 2021.
There you go.
Except for a birthday cake slice.
Who doesn't like cakes, though? They're always good. Everybody loves the touch of cake. Anyways, so
I don't know what bakery you're playing in, but I don't want that shit to feel like cake.
think this area here, we're having the lower lows here. It definitely put in complete low here, and I'm just kind of waiting to see where we're really going to play here on cake. I am looking at this as a potential long-term play. I think they're going to come out. They still have hundreds of millions of dollars to play with from their institution and everything they got going on. So I don't think we've heard the last of cake. And I think it's gonna be real interesting to see what happens here. For me, I'm looking at it. Where can I get in? And I'm thinking either two places. One right here, where we could capture it at a lower level. Here you go. And then the other one, here we go. It's right here. You don't have to worry about a single thing. Let me sing to you.
Pancake $1.49.
Yeah.
Only a $431 million market cap, with 223 million of it traded in the past 24 hours. Now, how is that possible?
Right.
I mean, they must have maybe a lot of transactions on Pancake go through Cake to get from one currency to another, and they're counting that. But there's no way.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Is there's a lot of a lot of people use them still. Listen, this was the first place that people use. I mean, people don't understand the ginormous and enormity. Ginormity. There you go. It's a Pedro word. Of just it, dude. Everybody knew about him. Like it was, like there. I still think there is so much money in cake that we don't even know. People have had so many good experiences from cake. That it's just. It's just.
Of course, you built it yourself, Steve. Of course, you did.
What did he write?
He said, "No." I asked him if he's using X Alpha bot to monitor Twitter, and he goes, "Oh no, I built my own bot." Of course you did, because when you can code and do those things, that's what you do.
That's exactly, dude. I need to have him hook up with Orin, bro, and have him set Orin right.
Although over the weekend I did build my own app, Steve, so you should be proud of me. This old guy I'm building a DYOR Media app for our upcoming change in the show and what we're doing. And I built that over the weekend, and the alpha version of it works pretty well. Includes even a little chat so we can insult each other. And then a spot for Pedro's calls and what he's looking at for trades, his ideas, as they say in the this is not financial advice world. And links to our shows, our past shows, and our upcoming schedules and that type of stuff.
I still haven't been able to log in there. I've tried like 20 times. I'm like, why isn't this thing freaking working? Because I wanted to lay down some trades here as the market was selling off. So I kept going in, and so finally, after I think I hit you back around like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I was like, dude, it's just not working. And but it was
I was like, I'm not going to worry about it now. We'll worry about it later when we talk about it.
Absolutely. So
I was like, I got the shit. At first, I had it wrong, and I didn't have you in the authenticated user column. And then I did put you in, and then I realized it wasn't. I was doing it on my mobile phone to update it, and it wasn't pushing the updates from the mobile. Then I did, and it was just one error after another, just whenever. And now it's right, but you still can't log in. So you've been banned.
Probably.
Oh, cake is used when you buy and sell on Pancake Swap. That's why there's so many transactions. That does make sense.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is Pancake Swap is still a big thing, and the reality is people buy it. Like people buy cake. It's still a major usage. So I look at it going like, I could see it going back up. Why wouldn't it? And then if I'm a major institution and I see all that potential money, why would I not go in there, buy it, then do something with the community? Because the community is huge.
I think because the institutions all believe what I believe, and that Pancake Swap is a Russian mafia front, and they just don't want to get involved in it.
It could be. But here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
necessarily in a Russian mafia. I'm just saying with their lack of transparency at all, it just doesn't bode well for institutions to get heavily involved in those types of things.
I think what it is that they like cake and they're going to want to eat it too. All right. So let's talk about Crow here on a side note, even though it's not a meme coin. We talked about, I think, when did you go on vacation where I and Mr. Alexander were on? I want to say it was in
A month
August,
ago.
or not August. Yeah, but in December, right?
Yeah, it was. Wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was like here, and we talked about how I expect our friend Crow here to come all the way down to about that 10-cent mark, 11-cent mark, 10-cent mark area. He goes, "You think it's going to come down to there?" And I go, "Absolutely." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to come down here to this area here. And I expect it, and make sure you just have your your stuff ready." He goes, "If it comes down there, we will give money away with the proceeds that are made from Crow." And I said, "All right, cool. That sounds great." So just so you know, Mr. Alexander, there you go. I like apples.
Now
baby.
it's time for him to eat crow.
Eat. Ooh. Well, I personally like apples. So how do you like them?
How do you like them apples? I just used that line over the weekend, I might add.
Dale, really? That's epic, dude. I love it.
I even put my hand up, like holding the phone number to the glass in the movie.
Oh, really? For what? You gotta tell me. Like,
I can't remember what it was. I did it with Mrs. Striking. We were both on the same side of it, and I wasn't putting it in her face. I can't remember what it was though.
Either way, still epic.
Chronos
how
up
do you like-
3% over the past 24 hours. 99, almost $100 million traded.
Yeah, this thing's
$3 billion
pumping.
market cap. That's what that's Chronos should be one that should be 3 billion, 6 billion, 10 billion. Should be bigger than it is. It should be a multi-dollar coin, not 11 cents. And
I love it.
I think as Crypto.com comes back to America and sings "Coming to America again
Every day."
today," and obviously you can use Crypto.com in the U.S., but they haven't really focused on it as a huge market for a lot of their things because they can't do the staking here, they can't do it, blah blah blah. And since all that's going to change, I bet you they bring all their products back and go full on, and then we'll get the love and attention that they should be getting from their price.
I mean, they really, dude. They're starting to sell now stocks. Did you see? Have you gone on the app?
You know what? I haven't actually. I used to use it to on-ramp for a long time, but then I don't need to do that anymore.
Well, what blew me away is I was going there over the weekend and I was checking some stuff out, right? And it was like new stocks because they have like a heading, right? And I looked down and I said, "No way, what do they got going on here?" And sure enough, man, they're offering Tesla, Google, all the top like 300-400 stocks. And
Like
I was like,
Webull.
yes, absolutely. And I sat there and I said, "Dude, this thing is it's just gonna get crazy." So when this thing sold off, I said, "Bye, bye, 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 Mr. Kramer there." So I actually am looking forward to when it's like at like $3, $4, right? And like Kramer's like, "This is a buy, 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 buy," and I'm like,
So
yeah, exactly. But those days will come. All right, so it was one of the things I want to pop and talk about here, and I just thought it was pretty cool. Here we go, and then the other one was Pepe. Hey, Pepe. Pepe actually blew through our area here over the weekend, and we saw actually come down, almost touching our lower level here of the what was it, 2, 4, 6, 7. Give me 1 second.
how did I blow this?
5. What'd you blow?
Oh, my great graphics machine.
Did we lose it? Did we lose everything?
No, we didn't lose anything.
Okay. All right. So Pepe's at 40, came all the way down to 508, and then now pushed back up to 401. And I just thought it was really cool because it came almost to our area here at that 50731. And it's showing some strength. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of buyers here, but I don't think the turmoil has ended in the market just yet. I think we're going to expect to see some other turmoil that's going to drop it just a little bit further, because a lot of these, there's a lot of demand areas just right below it, and a lot of times what happens is they'll drop it and then push it back up and then come back down to touch to get all these buyers at these levels and then push it back up. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what we see here. My biggest concern is that I just want to see, and this is really important for me, is when I start to see the 8 or the 50 and the 89 start to cross here, which is what we saw over the last few days. It could be a bearish signal of a market basically continuing down. So for Pepe, I would go with a further sell-off down even to this 453 area, potentially, where you could pick up a bunch of buyers right here and then watch it literally continue up. So I like these lower areas here for Pepe as we are continuing here and into this. Actually, people have called the end of the bull run, which is, I'm like, wait, what? Did we even have a bull run in the first place? Right.
And on BTC, the daily 200 moving average is still really far from the current price. I mean, it's not till we lose that you can start talking about bull run being over.
Right. My biggest key is this: is I want to see for me, I look at the 50 and the 100, right? If I start to see a 50 and 100 cross, then to me, or a 50 and 89 cross, right? That's when I start to pay attention to say, okay, are things up? Now, we are coming close to that. I'm not saying that it's not happening. You can see the 50 right here is sideways, and the 89 right here is coming up. So we don't want to see a crossover where we start to see a turn down of that 50 period moving average. If we start to see that as we start to close below the 200, then I would say, okay, yeah, maybe they were right. But right now it's still very, we've got at least a week or two to actually kind of see what's going to happen here.
And Bitcoin up over $100,000 again.
Yeah. So anyway, that's in a nutshell over there. All righty, man. I know we were going to have a short show here and kind of just go over stuff. We were just kind of going over just some of the top coins here.
It's already been an hour and a half?
Yeah, it's already 2 o'clock, my friend. Yeah, I think time flies by when you're having fun. Hedge funds trade, okay, DEX and cake with bought through heavily. I agree. Our man up there is just killing it. Yo, Stevie, I'm looking forward to the AA conversation, man, on Wednesdays, man. That's going to be really fun. And just taking conversation. And I really want to have the kind of a mid-level to high-level conversation on AI on a weekly basis, and just kind of
hold on. I've got a whole plot for the show, Pedro, to keep the viewers in suspense. Can't dump it all out on the first day.
My bad.
No, I said, but my point is that I was talking with Steve about this, and we're gonna pick every week one thing to focus on and hit some 3 key segments on, like why, the what, where, and why. How does this affect yada yada yada, stuff like that. And the broad ranging topics that go on forever and ever and go all these different directions that are not viewer and advertiser friendly. We're going to try and keep those into nice little clean segments so we can use social media to it. I think these AI shows will be good. Will be very good, and it'll grab the viewers.
What blows me away is this. Is like I said, I was in the sauna where most people are in 10, 15 minutes and done. I had an hour conversation, And typically at the most, there's about 5 to 10 guys in a sauna because nobody likes a sausage party, right? And so, especially when everybody stinks, right? It's like, all right, everybody circulates the sauna, and to have an hour conversation, and then look around and see over 30 plus men cramped in a 10 by 10 sauna to hear a couple guys talk about AI when R1 came out. It was a revelation of going, yeah, this is definitely needs to be talked about. So hopefully we'll be able to see a good turnout with that show and see what happens. See what happens when it comes to AI and really talking about more of like the coding side and what it means and I think really from a technical but also layman terms, what is real sentient AI? What does that look like? Talking about the idea of utility as well. And I think as we get into these conversations, we're definitely going to fly in between this idea of utility of agents as well as what's up?
It's almost, Pedro, it's almost like the AI is now in your head. And it's programmed to just go. As soon as you start talking about it, it's all of a sudden it's 10 minutes later. It's like, huh? What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, since long story short, we're watching a market that's moving, and it's going to be good to talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you this Monday here in the great world of crypto, AI, government policy, whatever it is that comes out of this channel. Remember, we got some crypto swamp creature episodes coming out this week, so pay attention to those. Those episodes really work when all you do is like and share them. Please do that when you see it. I'm asking on behalf of Pedro and I because it helps the channel out so much. Get the views and get the swamp creatures out there. They got some good stuff out there. So pay attention to that. I can't remember what else I wanted to say here.
Crypto swamp creatures, hit the like button.
Who's got the last comments here? It's because AI will influence everyone in the future. Brando Commando comments just as we're going off the air. He gets the last comment of the day. Everyone, thanks a lot for joining us today. I really appreciate it. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media universe. So glad to have hosted another episode. The man in the box next to me is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst, giving the goods, called out at Bitcoin going down to 91,000. And if you didn't listen to him, then you are the Chumbalones, and we will see you tomorrow. So be there.